Hi, and welcome to Session 1 of the Nearpod module. Nearpod is a classroom tool that you can use to engage students in interactive lessons. The goal of the Nearpod module is for you to become familiar with Nearpod and its features, and to learn to create and edit lessons so that you can use Nearpod effectively in your classroom. In this first session, we are simply going to become familiar with Nearpod, and then at the end, your task will be to create a sign up for a free account, and then also to do some exploring in the library and save some lessons into your personal Nearpod library. And I'll give you a little bit more information on that at the end. So here we are on the Nearpod homepage. As you can see, we have not logged in or signed up yet. And I'm going to go all the way down because it's pretty important, I think, for you to know about the pricing and the differences between the subscription and the free. So we're going to go down here to the bottom to the pricing area, and you can see you're going to sign up for a silver free account. And the first 30 days of a silver free account, they do upgrade you to the gold for 30 days, and that's nice because it gives you an idea of some of the features, but it's also kind of sad because when your 30 days are up, you're done with those features. But here are the couple of things to really notice about the differences. The first is that on a free account, you cannot do virtual field trips, which is something people really like. And also, the free account does not have student-paced mode. Now, I don't use student-paced mode with my students right now. They're first graders. I like to have them with me. I can see where it would be beneficial, and perhaps I'll use that in the future if I continue to be a classroom teacher. The other thing to notice is the class size. For the free account, you can only do 30 at a time. For the gold, it is 50. If you have a class that has more than 30, that might be a problem. Now, that is at one time. So if you teach science and you have, your first period class is 26 and your second period class is 24, that won't be a problem. You just can't have more than 30 signed up at once. So we're going to click back here to the home page of Nearpod, and here we are. And of course, there are lots of advertisements and information about Nearpod and how it works. But we are going to go ahead and log in, and I'm going to log in and show you some of the features and the login. So this is what the login page looks like, and I'll log in and bring you back. So when you log in, it brings you right up to your library. But I'm going to click out of the library, and I'm going to click on this little home button up here in the corner, because this is actually my home page for my account. So I have my library, explore, join, create, and reports. So in my library, that just brings us right back here where I can see all the lessons I've downloaded, and this is where also I can create my own lesson. And down here at the bottom, they have some tips and tricks lessons that are created by the Nearpod team. I'm going to go back over to the home button. Explore, we're going to look at that a little bit later. Join, that is where you would enter a lesson code if you were going to join a lesson. And go back. And then we're going to look at reports, but I'll have to sign into a different account for that because this one doesn't have the reports in it. So we're going to go to Learn for the moment. And in Learn is where this is learning for you as the teacher. And they have a lot of resources here, live webinars, and when those are, you can sign up. You can watch recordings of them. They have on-demand resources, tutorials, and all sorts of stuff there, instructional videos. So if this isn't quite in-depth enough, and if you want to learn more and discover more, those are a great place to look. So we're going to go back to Nearpod. And it should bring me back to my lessons page. Yes, it does. This would be my library. And I am going to sign into a different account in a minute so that you can see what reports look like. So I will bring you back in just a minute. So I've signed in under a different account, one that I actually use in my school. And this is a paid account that I do share with some other teachers. So I'm clicking on reports, and it's getting my report data. And we're just going to look real quick at one that we've been working on. We're working on adjectives right now. So we're going to see how far we are and how the kids are doing on it. Now this would be more important if you were doing a student-paced mode, because this would be more important then. But we do this together, so it's not so important for me. But you can see that it tells you what kind of activity it was: a quiz, a poll, open-ended, draw out matching pairs, or collaborate. And then how many questions were answered, how many were skipped. We haven't finished it yet, so that's why it looks that way. We're at 80% done, and so far everybody has participated. So you can see that you can get information about it. And if you do a quiz, it will show that here as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of this, and I'm going to show you one more thing about reports, but I need to go someplace else for that. So hold on just a minute. So one of the things that you can do is have a report sent to your email, and that is what you see here. And this happens to be math, something we did in math. I have one that's just called Math Workplace, and we use it like a whiteboard. So I would ask him a question, and then they would have to answer it on their Nearpod lesson. So here are the results. And again, I'm not real concerned about these numbers here because I'm watching what they're doing and they're showing me what they've done. But you can see what they drew according to my directions. And if I would need to see this, be more, if I would need to make a report on this, or if I wanted to grade them this way, I could do it by looking at these. So that is kind of a handy thing to have as well. I don't use this part as much, but I don't do student-paced either, so that is part of the reason why. All right, so that was just to show you what that is, and I'm going to pull up the next thing to show you. So now very briefly, I'm going to show you what it looks like from the student side. And so what I've done is on another computer, I have logged into one of my Nearpod accounts. And if the kids are on an app, it's really easy for them to just enter the code. It's 5 letters. Here I can enter it right up here at the top. And it's T-O-A, oh, it's right there. So I've already done this one a bit. So now I'm going to just sign in, go to the lesson. And this is what a student would see. And as you can see, there isn't a whole lot here for them to look at. This is what we were studying, L1B. I can use common, proper, and possessive nouns. And now, if you notice, the only button I have here that I can do anything with is this button right here in the corner. And I can either exit or I can look up the code. And that's it. As the student, that's all I get to see. Now watch what happens. I'm going to use my other computer over here, and I'm going to click to the next page, and this automatically brings up the next page. And as the teacher, you have control over everything that you see. So when we get to a page like this, I can answer my questions. Which words are nouns? Rock. Oh, so down here we have the tools that the kids would use, and they learn pretty quickly what they can use. There's a pen tool, there's a highlighter tool. They can change the color and change the thickness of the pen and the highlighter. A text box, they can take pictures and download them. There's the eraser, and over here is a tool where they can clear the whole screen. So we're just going to use the pen, and I'm going to change it to, just for fun, to red. So which words are nouns? I'm going to just circle. And again, we do this whole group, so it's not like a quiz would be. Excuse me, it's not like a quiz would be. So there is that one. And then here's the next screen, and again, the teacher passed it. Had the kids, is controlling the kids' screen. So it's really nice that way, and a lot of times I will, have kids highlight things and write things in the space. So that's the student's view, and now I'm going to show you what the teacher sees when they are on Nearpod. So here I am back in my account as a teacher, and I'm going to click my Nearpod up here in the corner, and I'm going to go to my lessons, and the one we were just working on is the common nouns, so I'm going to click Live Lesson, and we're going to resume this lesson right here, this TOASB one, and resume, And this is the code that I would share with my students, and it is very simple for them to enter that code and get online. And you can see here that there are other things you can do with it as well. So let me back up here to the beginning. I should have started. Oh, it goes to the last page that you worked on. That's what it is. So, excuse me, now you notice we have these blue arrows because I'm the teacher. And so now I can advance the pages. Here's a list of my students who are in the class right now. Nobody is currently working. That's why they're all red. If somebody was currently signed in, it would be green. These are all of the pages, all of my 19 pages. So if I wanted to skip ahead a page, I could just click on it. And then down here, you can show the student names or you can hide them. So let's go to a page where we actually have some work done. And, oh, so I have 2 of these. I always put 2 in because I want them to listen. And then I do a draw it page so that then they can do their work. So as you can see, here is what the kids see. And when I close this, I can see, they can submit it and I can see what they have done. So there's a submit button and they send it to me and then I can see what they've done. So now we can look at it together. I can share it with everyone else. Everyone else sees what Jan did, but they don't see her name and they can see, oh, she didn't do her work. Well, actually, she was just Jan number 1. And then here, Sharon did her work, and I can share this one, and we can discuss why she circled the one she circled, and if she missed one, why she might have missed one. And here's the third one that I just did, the black with the 2 green. Apparently, it went to Jan again. And we can see the work that she did. So you can share them and unshare them, which is a great way to talk about examples and non-examples. And if you're doing number talks and students do it in different ways, they can show what they did and explain it. So it's a really, really neat tool. So the last thing I'm going to show you, which you will need to be able to do, you will need to know for your task for this session, is how to find a lesson. So we're going to go to Explore. You can see, like I said, I have some lessons already in here. We're going to go to Explore. And I, a lot of times, just want to see what's out there. And I don't like to pay for lessons because lessons here can get pretty pricey and they might not be exactly what you want. So I am happy to just explore, and there is a place where you can put in a search term, but I'm going to go with free, and I want science, and I teach 1st grade, so I'm going to do 1st grade, and then I'm just going to hit search. And I'm going to look through here and find something that looks good to me, and let's just scroll. That's fun, but not. We do something with that for social studies, not science. Oh, look at this one. We eat plant parts. We talk about plants. So I'm going to preview this. Let me just click on that, preview lesson. This is what the lesson would look like if you were going to teach it to your students. So we can see there are 26 slides. We can go quickly through. Here's the author. Here are the objectives, and it looks pretty nice. And so when I see it, there's a question for them to answer. I really like this one, so I'm going to add it to my library. And you can see it's downloading. And now if I go to my library just that quick, let me move this so you can see it. There it is. We eat plant parts right there in my library. So here's your task for session 1. First part of your task is to create a Nearpod account on nearpod.com. And the second thing you need to do is find at least 2 lessons and download them or save them into your library. So you're going to go to Explore. You're going to find some lessons that look good to you. I don't care what grade level they're on. Topic is up to you. And then save them to your library. Preview them and save them. And that will be your task for this session, and we will use those in the next session. So I hope you've gotten some good information and are excited about looking more deeply into Nearpod.